right, listen. At one point, they called him the face of boxing, then he wanted to be called the breast and the butt of boxing. What do you want to be addressed as today?
Man, I don't, just Jake. I'm
Boxer.
just Jake.
The problem child?
I'm just Jake, man. My friends call me Jake, and I'm just a normal human like everyone else. But
not really, because look at the event that you're putting together, right? 3
Normal
years in
people don't have millions and want to get punched in the face. You different.
That's true. I might be.
Yeah, a little bit. But Jake, seriously, the loss against Tommy, right? Do you kind of feel like that took a little pressure off your back? Not that you wanted to lose. It was a close fight. Some say it could have went either way. But do you feel like, now I don't have that pressure of keeping that undefeated record?
Yeah, no, it's almost a relief in a sense. And there's like less nerves already, like going into this fight, going into this press conference. It's a relief. And especially being a young boxer, I think that's really important because of these big events can create a lot of pressure, a lot of nerves, a lot of adrenaline going into the ring. And so now I feel like freed from that, and I'm almost more calm in a sense in everything that I do.
Wow. You know, this is a real question, man. I mean, do you ever feel worried about after boxing you might get tempted to go back to the things that boxing saved you from?
For sure. For sure. I think about it all the time. Yeah, man. Because it's not
Sometimes
easy.
I see that in your eyes, like, yo, y'all don't know why I'm doing this, man.
No, 100% they don't, man. I was drinking, doing drugs, doing all sorts of crazy shit in Los Angeles, not being myself. Because that's what happens when you're drinking like that and doing those things like that. And I needed something to save me, and boxing showed up out of nowhere. And I definitely worry that side of me, that's the problem child side of me, that can get involved into those things. But everyone has a story, and I'm just now feeling comfortable like telling that story because I was kind of embarrassed by it. Like I didn't know if I could talk about those things. I didn't want to say that I had those problems or was doing those things. But I was like, if I could share my story about that and finding boxing and saving me, then maybe someone else will be able to relate.
Is it safe to say that's the reason why you love this sport so much, because it did save you? And you said earlier, I'll be here forever. In some way, shape, or form, you're going to be involved in the sport.
100%, always. Promoting fights, helping fighters, using my platform. I've even thought about getting my referee's license.
Really?
Like, wouldn't that be funny?
I did that.
Really?
Yeah,
like,
just
wouldn't it be funny
more.
if like I'm in the ring reffing a match?
That'd be hilarious. Just don't take our job. No broadcasting, right?
Okay.
Now, listen, you said something over there that was interesting to me. Everybody was throwing out numbers for Ryan Tank, right? 1.2, 1.4, but you said 800. Do you know something we don't know about?
Yes.
Please talk about it.
Everything's always inflated when the numbers come out. For sure, but we know people inside of Showtime and DAZN added up the numbers for sure.
Right.
Because
Still
we
a
work with all
successful
these
fight,
companies, of course. And by the way, it's a higher price point, right? So they generated more revenue, but we still did more buys.
Right. No, but I mean, still.
But it's still insane. It's not to take away from what they did. I'm not trying to like compare
I know what
and all that stuff, but the guy up there was testing me. He's like, "What's your resume?"
You got a little frustrated.
I was like, all right.
But not to mention what you've done for women's boxing, which leads to this question. Amanda Serrano is fighting on the undercard against Heather Hardy, even though she fought her already. I get it. But will we see Amanda Serrano, Katie Taylor, should she get past Cameron?
For sure. We have to make that fight happen. There's discussions going on, and it's amazing for the sport. The timing just hasn't aligned. But I think probably after this fight for both Katie coming up next week, I believe, and Amanda, they're going to get in there after that.
Did you ever get a little scared, like, damn, Katie went and fought almost a harder fight at 140 pounds. Like, she might be messing this fight up with Serrano.
Yeah, I mean, that could happen in the sport for sure if you don't go back and do the rematch right away. So,
I want to say about Derek, the young guy that said something about I'll fight Nate Diaz.
Nah.
Did you really know Derek, or are you just trying to save his life?
No, he works for my company.
Oh, for real?
Better Media. Yeah.
He works for Better, yeah.
Oh,
no,
he
and,
did
and
say
he's
Better,
a little
right.
out of his mind.
But he's not a fighter. He was just joking.
He's been, bro. Where the did you come from? He's not. He's been
a fighter in what?
No, he's.
Oh, okay.
He's working on becoming. He's had like one boxing lesson
One
from
boxing
me.
lesson.
I was about to
From
say
me,
we
he's
could do
not
the
a
Zone
fighter.
X series. I'll fight him in the Zone X series before we get to that. All right, listen. Let's.
But now he's in disguise. Like he's scared.
He did change his outfit.
He's
I think he
hiding,
got a black
he's hiding
hoodie
behind
on.
the big security guards.
All right, listen now. Can you talk about your change in trainers? Flores, obviously you've been working with him for a while. I mean, you've always worked with Jay Leon, but bringing Shane back in, like, how did that whole thing come about?
Yeah, so wanted to revisit the drawing board and just take a look at everything. BJ is still going to be involved in the camp here and there for sure. I love the guy. So he's going to still be working in like sometimes here and there and helping with certain things. But I wanted to just take a look back at the drawing board. And I was texting with Shane after the fight, and he was open and down and willing to come back into camp because he was busy before earlier in the career. He didn't really want to be a full-time coach.
He didn't know how far you was gonna go.
Yeah, exactly.
He talked you into it, and then he's like, "Yeah, you go ahead."
Yeah,
But he just told us a story. Just can you confirm this? He said that he showed up at your house with his kids one day, and his kids
Just to
wanted to meet
introduce
you,
his kids to
introduce
you.
himself. Oh, you like boxing? Is that true?
Yeah. That's how I first met him. His kids were fans, and he like hit up someone from my team, and it was like, "Yo, like Sugar Shane Mosley's kids like want to come and meet you." And I was always a fan of his events,
Right.
fights growing up, and so I was like, "Oh, sure, like no problem." And then he was really cool, and then a couple years later, I'm
You're here.
boxing. So
Big.
yeah, it's amazing, and there was a couple of key problems that we identified with what I was making mistakes on in the boxing ring, and all of these coaches were on the same page as to what needed to be fixed. And so to me, that was like the North Star, and it all made sense. But it's good to be back with him and having him around as well.
All right, so we need a hint. I'm sorry, we need a little hint. This MVP signing that you was talking about that you say is gonna blow everybody's mind. Can we at least get a
I don't
hint?
know if I can
like,
give a hint.
Can Barack get an
we
exclusive? Can
we just
Barack get an
Can we get a
exclusive?
hint, like former champion?
You asking for a hint, I'm asking
or
for the name.
something.
You're
on.
not.
Or break it here.
most
You on
likely-
the zone.
No.
This is the only daily show
You're
in
not,
the world.
You're not most likely gonna. No one's gonna ever guess it.
Okay.
But I will say, this person has the opportunity to be the biggest star in the sport of boxing that we've seen in the past couple of decades.
Wow, that's saying a lot. You
I'ma
brainstorming? You
mess
trying to
around and
guess?
guess it,
All
right?
right,
You're
but
gonna be thinking about for like the next week.
all right, in the meantime, let's get into us talking to Andre Ward a couple of weeks ago at the Tank Davis Ryan Garcia fight. He gave you a lot of respect, but he did say Nate is too much volume. He throws too many punches. I don't see how Jake is going to be able to deal with that. What do you say to that?
Yeah, no, respect, and I agree. Nate's gonna be having a lot of volume coming forward, putting a lot of pressure, and it's not gonna be easy to deal with for sure.
Right.
But I think with how hard I'm training and how focused I am, the changes we're making in camp, and my boxing and natural ability, I'm going to be able to pick them apart and find openings and create openings, and my power is going to be too much for him, and I think it's going to deter him from throwing as much and coming forward as much. But that's what makes this exciting, because it is going to be a war for sure.
Right.
All right, more importantly, did you call Nate or did Nate call you and say, let's wear these sneakers today? Because you wore the same sneakers.
Yeah, we wore the same sneakers. I don't. No, we didn't plan that. What are the chances?
I don't know about that. That's a big coincidence right there.
Listen, what happens after this? Look, this is the biggest fight of your career. Let's be honest. Nate is the biggest name. It's a real challenge with the rumors about him being such a good striker. You always plan ahead, right? You're ahead of the game always. What's 2023 looking like after this?
I just want to focus on this right now, for real. And this is do or die. And I think I've been so focused on the big picture of my career a lot of times, and what's going to happen. And even being a promoter, like I'm going to do this fight, then I'm going to promote Amanda's, then I'm going to show up here, then I'm going to do that.
Yeah, how do you even do that? I say to myself, like,
that's what I'm saying. Like right now, I'm solely focused on this every single day, waking up with this as my main sole objective.
so no podcast. I know you was doing something I was having fun watching, and the other things. Is everything on pause for the next couple months?
Good, so now they can watch our show. Thank God. Thank God. Yo, listen, is it Devin Haney?
No.
Oh, damn. All right, because this is his last fight.
Ryan Garcia.
I can't say.
It's not Ryan Garcia. Oh,
Wait, how do you
that's
know?
A good one.
I don't know. I'm just saying. I don't know.
Can't say.
All right, so listen, real quick. The lightweight division this is just your fight fan in you, right? Lightweight division, the best in boxing. We got Devin fighting Loma. Tank just beat Ryan. We still got Shakur. That's one of the most talented fighters in all of boxing. When the smoke clears, who's going to be the last guy standing in the 135-pound division?
That's crazy. It's really tough to say. And honestly, all of my picks have been wrong. So I've gained a lot of respect for him after that fight. And I've been wrong. So
Drake and Jake.
Yeah.
There's a Drake curse and a Jake curse.
Literally. So it's tough to say, man, but I would say like the skills will shine through, and if I had to pick one person, I think it would probably be Devin.
That just answered my question, I think. No. I think that answered my question about you guys signing that. I'm sorry I'm so good at this.
Why are you always trying to figure something out?
I'm sorry, bro. You know, I don't know why I got this talent.
Look, obviously, this is going to be a mega event. Pay-per-view will be front center. Can't wait to see this event, man. Good luck on the 5th.
Thank you, guys.
Jake Paul.
As always.
Introducing the new DAZN Boxing Show podcast. No matter the time or the place, getting your boxing content has become easier than ever. Tune in as we give you exclusive insights, predictions, fight night recaps, and more alongside the biggest names in the game. All for free. Available globally every Thursday across all audio streaming platforms and with new episodes dropping weekly to give you the latest news. Just type in the DAZN Boxing Show podcast, listen in, and enjoy.